In this week's episode, we're going to attempt to try and get more heat out of the Samurai. So welcome back to Fab and Adventures, guys. We're working on the old Sammy here tonight. And so now that winter is upon us, I think it's time for me to address the heat issue. The old Sammy doesn't put out much airflow out of the heater, and it just doesn't put out much heat. And I had John over here last week, and he told me of a way to clean out the heater core. You don't see much of this on the internet. It's a real simple way to do it. We're going to have a go at her. We're also going to fire up the old Sammy here. It's been sitting here for a few days. It's minus 10 Celsius, so that's like 14 degrees Fahrenheit for you guys down south. So let's see how good it fires up, and I'm sure it'll just fire right up. The old turboed 1.3 would have a heck of a time getting fired up. So let's fire it up. Woo! So you see, that is exactly why I went to the fuel injected 1.6 16 valve, or even the 8 valve would start just like that. It barely turned over, fired right up. Nice high idle, it's warming up. That's awesome. So now we just got to fix the heat in this little Samurai, and it's going to be pretty awesome to use year round. So we're going to put this bad boy in the shop and try and get the heater to put out more. So let's go on into the shop. All right, so now we got her inside here. The heater's on max, the fan is on max, and it's just a piece of paper towel. You can see how kind of little it puts out, and I'm hoping, you know, that we can improve this. Hopefully it'll blow this piece of napkin right out of there. It's not, I mean, it blows, but it's pretty pathetic actually. So let's hope this cures my heating issue. So the idea here is to pull this vent that goes up to the top of the dash, and to get above the heater core, which is let's get this little guy out of the way here if we can. To get above the heater core runs right in here. So to get up in here, drill a hole, put our vacuum in there, and then blow air through the heater core from the bottom here, blow it up. So what happens is these heater cores are sitting horizontally like this, and over time leaves and pine needles and all kinds of junk falls through that vent in front of your windshield, gets all the way down in the vent and lays on top of this heater core, and the air can't blow through it. So it works like a little blanket on top of your heater core, and it stops your airflow. So I looked at it here. It looks like it'd be a fair pain to try and pull the fan out. There's some stuff up here in the way. So it looks like that's why people drill through here and try and suck it out. So we're going to try it. And then once you have the hole drilled and you get all your stuff sucked out of her, then you just put a piece of like some sort of duct tape basically over top of it and seal it back off. So let's give her a go. Okay, so what I've done here is I got myself a hole saw, the exact same size as my vacuum tip here. And I think, in my theory, is you want a fairly tight seal around this so that it gets a good suction in the heater compartment, because you're going to lose a lot of suction pulling through the vents and everything. So you want as much suction as possible. So we're going to go ahead, take this little drill over top of the heater core, pull the plug out, and then start sucking, or even shine a light in there and see what it looks like on top of that heater core. Maybe it's fine. Maybe that's just as good as she blows, but I gotta see. So I'm gonna drill this baby. There we go. Core came out. Worth it. That's where I put the hole. That should be right above the heater core. Oh yeah, there's a ton of junk in there. I can feel it, like a ton of junk. All right, so what I've done is I've taken my shop vac, I've cleaned it right out, wiped it out, so you can see there's nothing left in there. And we're gonna see how much junk comes out of there. I can't wait to see it. It felt like a ton of pine needles, like a ½ inch thick of pine needles in there. And that was just where I stuck my finger in and touched. So let's clean this bad boy out. Vacuum, stick it in the hole. And then I made this really crude blow nozzle out of a piece of stainless, and I just taped it to the end of my blowgun. That way I can blow in and up through the heater core. So let's give this a go. I'm excited to try it out. Nope, I don't feel it here pulling stuff, so let's blow through it and see what we get. Wow, there's a ton of stuff in there. I can't really blow through the heater core. No wonder I don't get no heat. I'm gonna go grab my little steel grabber tool. All right, so that took quite a bit of work actually. I got my blowgun in there blowing underneath there, and it took quite, the stuff was like matted on there. So I built this little scratcher, and you want to be delicate with that heater core. You know, it's just thin copper sheets, if you want to call it that, and you can bend it really easy. So this is just a piece of aluminum welding wire. It's really flexible, and I mean, it could even still bend those fins over, and if you bend all the fins over, then you don't get no air through. So I scratched up that matting, leaves and pine needles and all kinds of junk, scratched it all up, loosened it with this, and then I put my vacuum hose in there and my air gun. I blew it around till nothing was coming out anymore, and then I turned the fan on, and you could hear a bunch of junk blow back in there. I stuck my finger in, there's a bunch more junk. So what I actually was doing was blowing the junk back into the squirrel cage fan and filling that full of junk. So then what I did was I just turned my fan on and got that blowing, put my vacuum on, got my air hose underneath there, and blew all that junk out, and just kept doing it and doing it. It's probably half an hour of blowing and, you know, scratching and blowing and scratching, but I think I've got her now. So now we're just going to put a strip or two of this aluminum ducting tape onto that hole, put our vent back on, and try her out. I'll show you quick what it looks like underneath there. There you can see where I put on that silver ducting tape to cover up the hole. Now let's try her out. Okay, here's our same piece of paper towel. We're gonna fire it up so we get lots of voltage to the fan. Oh, you can definitely hear that it's blowing way better. Yeah, it blows quite a bit better. It's, you know, it's still not awesome, but it's a Samurai. There we go. I got the vent adjusted proper now. Yeah, that's way better. Let's take this bad boy out for a little tour. Wow, that heat is awesome now. Oh wow, what a simple, awesome little mod. I want to thank John Brown for giving me that idea to clean that out. He actually showed up here a week ago, and we got to talking and saying this thing just doesn't put out much heat. And he said, well, there's a simple little mod guys are doing. They're drilling a hole in the air box like I showed you guys and sucking that stuff out, blowing it out, sucking it out. And now the Samurai puts out heat. It had probably 35 years of pine needles and leaves and all kinds of junk packed in there, and it's out and it heats awesome now. I'm gonna go do some more wheeling in the bush here, try out some of my new camera equipment that I got that's gonna hopefully up my game and make some pretty cool shots and video for you guys to watch. So again, if you guys are enjoying this sort of content, hit the old subscribe, like, share these videos. Make sure you turn on notifications, give me a thumbs up. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's @fabin_adventures. If you want to help support the channel, go ahead down to the link in the description below to my Patreon account. Join up. It doesn't cost you a whole lot. Helps support the channel, and it helps increase some of my video and other stuff to help make these videos better. And we'll catch you guys next Friday. Catch you guys next Friday.